the idea of the framework is that you install processes within your organization that then become mindless to do. It still takes effort to do them, and you still have to be mindful about maintaining it. But they're already kind of like instilled in your process. Like, for example, a good example of this is like checking eligibility when you get a patient. Yeah, you still have to check the eligibility, but it becomes a mindless part of your job. Like, I get a patient, I check their eligibility, make sure that they are just like basically eligible, like, or do we cover the insurance? Are they in a different agency at the time? Like basics of eligibility checking. You no longer have to think about it. Yeah, if you stop doing it, it stops happening, right? But like you're not going to stop doing it. It just becomes a natural step one of your process. And so in our own business, in the home health consultant, we also use frameworks. We use a marketing framework, we use a business organizational framework, and things like that. And so we also use consultants that implement these frameworks. And the idea is hopefully at some point we are independent with it, or we just use them for accountability. Like, we have a consultant for our organizational structure. We've been with them for a few years. They have now implemented the structure. The structure has relieved me from having to micromanage every individual person's role. And because of that, it's allowed us to grow as a company without taking more of my like juice. And so we realized at some point that it's very important to use frameworks because it's different than you go to a conference, someone teaches you some idea. Now, how do you take this back to your agency? Like, how do you do the things? And we're not saying going to conferences is useless. Like, it's so important. You catch up on knowledge, you catch up on industry trends, and maybe you do take an idea that you can implement into your company, whatever. But what the framework does is it gives you processes that are just installed and downloaded into everyone's like brain, and like everything just kind of flows within that structure. It gives you a structure. And to me, a structure is so much more valuable than an idea, because the idea needs the execution and the framework is the execution for the idea. So yes, go to the conferences, read the books, gain the knowledge, learn, do your thing. But the framework will give you the ability to execute these ideas out.